Welcome to Pipeline Health's Paragon 23 education series on clinician documentation, also known as ClinDoc. Once you have launched PCH and navigated to your patient's chart, select the Documentation tab. To begin documenting, select Add Note. To load a template to your documentation pane, double-click on the template over here on the right-hand side. If this is a template you will be frequently using, you have the option to navigate to this icon and select Pin to Top of List. In this example, you can see I have these two notes pinned for most frequently used. If this is your first time launching ClinDoc and you wish to have the navigation pane, click on this icon here. You will now have a navigation pane that will allow you to easily navigate through the different components of your note. As you prepare to document, select the preview. This will allow you to see your documentation as you navigate through the template. Required charting elements will have an asterisk as seen here. Narrative elements, such as chief complaint, will allow you to place your cursor in the box and utilize your M-modal dictation mic. Another method in which you will be able to use your dictation mic is through selecting this icon for Add Narrative. It will open a new narrative box, and once again, you will use your M-modal mic for dictation. For ease of navigating through the templates, we have collapsed each of the components. To view the component, select the plus sign. Certain components in the template will allow you to select negative. Please pay attention to the verbiage on the right-hand side here. If you wish to mark a symptom opposite of this selection, simply click. If you wish to add comments, right-click, select Add Edit Comments, and enter your comments. To exit and save, select back on your documentation pane. Here you can see my comments added. Certain charting elements will pull from the nursing documentation and patient profile. You do still have the option to update them. Navigate to this icon and select Manage. Here, I'm going to add an allergy. Select Save and Close. ClinDoc will now require you to add visit-specific problems in a new manner. Navigate to this icon and select Manage. Select Add and search for your problem. Select the option that is most appropriate here. Select Add to Full Problems and Procedures. Select the appropriate type, status. You have the option to document on laterality and severity. And if the start date is unknown, enter a U. Providers have the option to add and find another or add. Select Close, and you will now see the new problem that you just added charted here. ClinDoc provides an easy workflow for adding laboratory and imaging results to your documentation. One method of documenting lab results is by selecting the time frame in which you wish to pull results into the note. An alternative is to navigate to results in the upper right-hand corner. Select the appropriate category and identify the results you wish to pull into your note. Select the results, navigate to Included Note, and select Add Below Laboratory. Your results have now populated your template. The same is for imaging. Select Diagnostic Imaging, select the result you wish to populate, Included Note, Add Below Results, Diagnostic Findings. In the preview, you can see how these will be added to your note. Once you've completed documentation and your note requires signature, there are various options based on your role in Paragon. If you are a scribe and require the assignment of your note to an attending provider to sign, you will select Scribe. If you are a mid-level provider and require co-signature, you will select the options Sign and Require Co-sign. Both the Scribe and the Sign and Require Co-sign will launch into a pop-up screen in which you can either select a recently selected provider for signature, or you can use the search for provider. If you are a provider that has signing authority, you will simply select Sign. Signed notes will display as signed, whereas unsigned notes will display as unsigned. If you have saved your note and need to complete your documentation, select your note and select Edit. This will reopen the template to allow you to document your note. If you are a provider and you've completed your documentation, select Sign. If a component within your note has been updated by another provider or another discipline in the time that you have been documenting your note, you have the option to either continue without refreshing, or you can select Cancel, navigate to that component, navigate to the More Actions button, and select Refresh. This will now update to the most recent data that is pulling based on other providers' documentation. You additionally have the option to continue without refreshing. If you have not completed a required charting element, you will not be able to sign your note. To easily navigate to the required components, select Go to First Instance. Complete your documentation. Documentation that requires co-signature can be found either within the Documentation tab or within your work queue. To co-sign the note, simply click on the note to highlight and select Co-sign. Document any comments that you may have and select Sign. To complete a co-signature through your work queue, click on the task. Providers have the option to edit and sign the visit note, preview and co-sign the visit note. If this note has been improperly assigned to you, select Reassign to and enter the appropriate provider to reassign the note to. To complete an addendum on a note, click on the note you wish to make an addendum on. Select Add Addendum. Document your addendum. Select Sign. There are two places that you can look to understand if an addendum has been made to a note. One will be here in the preview pane. The second will be here. To invalidate a note, click on your note in the documentation pane. Select this icon to invalidate it. You will need to select a reason. Select Invalidate Note. If you wish to view invalid notes, you will need to deselect this checkbox. One of the new elements for ClinDoc is the ability to add scales to your documentation. Under the Templates pane, select Components. In this example, we're going to do the CHADS 2 score. Take your scale and drag it into your documentation. As I document within the scale, my score will display here as well as here. This is how it will preview in your documentation. In the Documentation tab, you have the ability to filter by specific note types. Disciplines that have been moved into ClinDoc can simply be selected.